Vanakkam. Today I'm going to make a short analysis of the state of Indian city streets and public spaces. But before I do this, let's take a quick look at why streets are so important. What are they used for? And are they really accessible to all? If you think about it, streets and public spaces are one of the most important parts of urban life. Streets are not only used to move people around, streets are the basic infrastructure for giving electricity, water, internet, and taking away waste and wastewater from people's homes. But apart from this, streets are a space for pedestrians, for cyclists, for street theatre and culture and cafes and shops and vendors. Another important use of streets are for religious and cultural proceedings. In the Indian Union, the most diverse cultures are very community oriented. Funerals, processions, religious and cultural proceedings like Ramzan, Diwali, Vaisakhi in Punjab, Nongrem in Meghalaya, Kartigai Deepam in Tiruvannamalai. There are so many such diverse public events in India that are basically celebrated on the streets. The street is a place where democracy lives. Freedom of speech is expressed on the streets the world over through arts and through protests and processions. So in this video, I will take up what I think are the basic required features of a street to give every citizen basic quality of life. And then I will make an analysis of the ground situation of what's going on in India with streets. For this analysis, I'm going to take 6 criteria that I feel would make a city have good user-friendly streets and public spaces. First, open, clean, vehicle-free green spaces. Second, safety from accidents. Third, access to washroom or toilet and water facilities. Fourth, pedestrian ways. Fifth, bicycle tracks. And sixth, air pollution control. But first, why is it so important to have high quality accessible streets? Allow me to show you a very good reason why. According to 2019 statistics, roughly 42% of India's total population, 570 crore people, are either senior citizens, children below the age of 14, people with disabilities, or pregnant women. These 570 crore people need extra support and developed streets in order to get their basic needs met. Think about it. You might be of the age where you can run across streets with raging cars, but can your grandparents or your little child or a pregnant wife or a friend with disabilities, can they do the same? Now, why have I chosen these particular criteria for defining a user-friendly street and not bigger and better roads for more cars to go in? Apart from the fact that cars use a lot more space, congest the city completely and are environmentally unfriendly, roughly 87% of Indians earn less than 10,000 per month and cannot afford cars to travel. Moreover, there is also the concern of convenience. Cities in America were built with the Industrial Revolution and made for cars. But Indian cities are much older and carry a lot of heritage. Streets and public spaces were not originally built for cars. So trying to broaden and bring in more cars and it only brings inconvenience to the citizens as well as make it more expensive to the municipality. This is the case with European cities as well. But European cities have found very innovative ways to solve this issue without having to broaden streets. There are much better ways for commuting like having trams, trains, buses, metros, public bicycles, bicycle tracks, which reduce the traffic as well as make traveling affordable to all. Now, let's look at the reality of Indian cities. According to Swachh Survekshan's report of 2020, since the last 4 years, Indore, a city in Madhya Pradesh, has claimed to be the cleanest city in India. But does it actually have enough open, green, vehicle-free spaces? The Union Ministry of Urban Development has recommended a minimum of 12 square meters of open spaces per person, or 25 to 30% of the city. To give you an illustrative analogy, each person in a city should get the size of at least the parking space of one car of open public space. The city of Gandhinagar, the capital city of Gujarat, with the population of roughly 14 lakhs, has 12 car parking spaces per person. Chandigarh, with 11 lakhs population, has 4 car parking spaces per person, and Delhi has 2 car parking spaces per person. However, in Delhi, these open spaces are not evenly distributed to be accessible to all the citizens. A large portion of Delhi's open spaces are in particular places such as Deer Park, Buddha Park, House Cars, and are not walkable or cyclable distances to most of the citizens. Mumbai, Chennai, Trivandrum, Amritsar and Hyderabad are known to be have the least amount of open spaces, with less than quarter of a car parking space per person. In my opinion, even one car park size is much too little, but it is sad that more than 90% of the 53 big cities in India have less than the minimum required open spaces. This issue has really been brought to the center stage since lockdowns and restrictions have begun, and there is a hope that cities will take the hint and better the situation to allow each person the right to outdoor open and green spaces. The toilet and water facilities situation, as I'm sure you're all quite aware of, is really terrible. In many places there are absolutely no toilet facilities in India. Open defecation is known to increase health problems and spread diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and other viruses that might have been on our minds this last year. India ranks as number 19 in the world for open defecation. There has been a huge increase in the number of toilets being built in towns and cities to counter this problem, and there is a constant decrease in open defecation every year. In 4 years, 2,300 towns and cities have added 57,000 new toilets in India as far as Google Maps is concerned. But there is a claim from the Swachh Bharat mission of the Union government that 99% of Indian cities are open defecation free. I think this is a totally another level of exaggeration. Let me show you an example of data fudging by the Swachh Bharat mission. Mint, in one of its articles, has compared 2 other studies done on open defecation with that of the Swachh Bharat study. The other 2 reports show very different statistics from the Swachh Bharat research claims. Here is the report by the NFHS, National Family Health Service. This is the report by NSS, National Sample Survey. And now here is the data by the Swachh Bharat report. The other 2 reports are also from government sources. Fudging data doesn't solve any issues. It only adds false impetus to the ruling party of the union government. The problem is that as soon as the toilet is built, the ward or area is declared as ODF, open defecation free. But this has not actually stopped open defecation at all. The main factors for open defecation being prevalent could be due to the factor that while there are many toilets built, most are not maintained at all, and for daily use they become quite expensive for the normal citizen who has no personal toilets. Anyhow, by all standards, this Kerala's capital city of Trivandrum and Lakshadweep Islands rates at having the most accessible water and toilet facilities in India. Karnataka and Kerala have taken actually many a great step to address this situation as well. The Hotels and Restaurants Association have decided that especially if you're a woman or a child, you have free right to the washroom and toilet in any restaurant or hotel toilet in these 2 states. As far as pedestrian ways are concerned, Bangalore and Kolkata are known to have the most pedestrian ways, that's a distance. But when it comes to the pedestrian ways, India is severely underdeveloped. Indian cities are struggling to provide safe and secure walking spaces to their pedestrians. As per the 2018 report on road accidents by the Union Ministry of Road Transport, there has been a rise of pedestrian deaths by 84% in 4 years. According to Times of India, 62 pedestrians die daily on Indian roads. But here's the irony. Indian streets are not only dangerous to the pedestrians, they are also extremely dangerous for the police and traffic cops who spend all the day in the streets and junctions. We need to rethink our cities and prioritize them for the convenience of the pedestrians and the cyclists. A few cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Warangal, Gurgaon, Mumbai and Guwahati have begun building bicycle tracks. Many of other cities such as Hyderabad and Trivandrum are planning to build bicycle tracks in the cities. But when I say that these cycle tracks have begun being built, I mean they have only just begun. Many of the tracks run about a km or two and then end abruptly. They're also currently being used, of course, by cars and bikes, pretty badly maintained, and mostly a danger to cyclists. But the positive point is definitely that Indian cities are taking cognizance of the issue and increasing and encouraging cyclists in India. Today, 13% of India travels to work on bicycles. With one of the slowest mobility on earth, India ranks the fourth most dangerous country to drive in, and these are only based on the reported accidents. Many accidents go unreported, many hit and run cases happen. Between 2016 and 2020, Chennai and Delhi compete to be the least safest cities for road accidents. For the last 3 years, Tamil Nadu has been the most dangerous state for roads with 156 accidents per day in 2020. In India, the city with the least percent of accidents is the capital city of Kashmir, Srinagar. Under the Air Quality Index, Ditboy in Assam, Parli Bagnath in Maharashtra, Guwahati, Assam's capital city, and Nagpur in Telangana are cities that are rated to have some of the best air quality in India. The worst are mainly Mongoli, Delhi and other cities in the national capital region. Surprisingly, Delhi, for its terrible air pollution, is the city with the most green spaces in India. This is basically to say that pollution is not only dependent on green cover, but on the number of vehicles that are being used, the type of vehicles that are being used, the industries in the area, the type of construction sites in the city, and the waste management in the city. In 70 years, this is the development situation of our streets. Today, we do not have a single city or town that has managed to give its citizens the right to the use of proper user-friendly, accessible streets. A common conception is that India is a developing nation and so needs money and time to organize such facilities for its citizens. Taking stock of a few facts, the richest municipality in Asia is none other than Mumbai. Imagine, richer than Shanghai, Beijing, Tokyo, Taipei, Seoul, Singapore, or even Hong Kong. Other cities such as Delhi and Chennai are not far behind from Mumbai in their state of wealth. Are 70 years not good enough for our governments to get their act together? Do we need to wait another 70 years more? This is not about the lack of money, but on how it is being spent and for whom this money is being spent. Streets are supposed to be built for us, not for cars. And these cities that don't have any public spaces and green spaces, our local bodies need to organize proper streets with the public money that is allotted to them. I hope you found my video informative. Please do share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section below. It helps me for future videos. Also, if you would like any particular videos made on specific topics, you can also write them below. Thank you. Until our next video. Vanakkam.